Greetings, people. I be here, Gregory. Today I want to talk about the Supreme Court because they've been on one lately. They gutted the affirmative action program, claiming that it is unconstitutional to consider race when admitting these applications. And you got some folks that are extremely happy about this. But they act like race is the only factor. It was just one out of many factors. Apparently, there's a portion of the Asian community and white community who's claiming that their spots are being taken away by these affirmative action students. And there have been court cases in the past recently. I know at least of two of them where the judge ruled against the Asian community, being that they make 6% of the population and 26% of Harvard. It's kind of hard to make the claim that they're being oppressed, or kind of hard to prove that. But like I said, this is only a one factor, and there is a side of the eye who's trying to make it seem like these people don't deserve to be there. And to me, I think that's BS propaganda. They're not taking 2.5, students. You still have to meet all of the academic requirements. Like I see Joy Ann Reid tell her story of how she made it to Harvard. She was recruited, but she got the grades. She deserved to be there, but she would have not made it to Harvard if not for affirmative action, despite the good grades that she got. Supreme Court Justice Ketanji Brown, she went to Harvard. Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas, who voted against this, he went to Harvard. So he benefited off affirmative action. Now he doesn't want people to come after him, who come after him to benefit off it. It's like he went up the ladder and then pulled it up. Um, Matter of fact, 8 out of the 9 Supreme Court justices, all of them went to Harvard or Yale. 8 out of 9. So to go to these higher levels of institutions is very important. You get better jobs. You get better pay. And there's a small percentage of black people, even with affirmative action, that goes to these schools. But there are people who will claim that it's meritocracy. They're doing it without merit. And before I even say that this was meant to as a reparations, as to repair, like a reparation, so to speak, or to make amends, or an amendment, so to speak, for some of the past, racial oppression. Like when Lyndon B. Johnson announced affirmative action, he did so at Howard University. Like this is, meant to help black folks. And you have people like, say, Tim Pool, who's claiming that this is racist, that affirmative action is racist. So the thing that is meant to combat racism, is being called racist by some folks, right? And they saying that these people are that there's there you should get into the schools by merit, as if these they don't have merit. But to come at affirmative action about merit and to ignore the legacy and the donor students is highly hypocritical, and I think it's racial. I mean, what I showed you the racial component, because what else could you be? For you to stay silent on that, but talk about the affirmative action which was meant to help black folks, and like I said, and not to deal with the legacy. Do you realize that to go into Harvard is your acceptance rate is about 3%, 3.42%. But if you are a legacy student who someone whose family member, father, grandfather graduated from the school, your admittance percentage goes up to 33%. If you are a donor, if you're somebody in your family gave money to the school, your acceptance rate goes up by 42%. And 75% of the legacy and donor class would have not made it to these schools otherwise. You talk about meritless, but you know why they're not speaking out against that? Because 70% of all legacy and donor students are white. So there's no complaints there. Jared Kushner went to Harvard, but he was a C student, but his father or someone in his family gave money to the school. Like you have schools like what is it, Notre Dame, USC, Dartmouth, and Cornell, who their legacy and donor class makes up more than the whole, black population at that school. It's, I mean, it's highly hypocritical. You talk about merit. Listen, if you ask me, the affirmative action didn't go far enough, and or it been taken off its path somehow because when you because a lot of this stuff is not even going towards black folks, even though black people's getting demonized by this saying, oh, anytime you see a black person, oh, it must be, but it's not going far enough. When I say that, I mean, like, say, like the diversity, there's been the diversity, equity, and inclusion programs that have been since George Floyd. Do I saw a report that 75% or only 25% of that has actually gone to help black people. So 75% is going to others because when you use language like diversity and minority and civil rights, that's a wide array of people. That could be anybody. That's a big group. And do you know who the number one benefactors of affirmative action it has been white women. Because you could be a white woman from Yugoslavia and you're a minority. So this hasn't even gone far enough. I've seen people say, well, how long does it take? How many? Because this has been going on for like over 50 years. Well, how long do you need affirmative action? How long should we keep it in? But it hasn't even been used for its uh, intended purpose. So how can I judge how long? I mean, it's not even going toward black folks like it should be. And with the Supreme Court, because I said there was on one, they also struck down the student loan debt forgiveness. So and this is wild. Out of all the type of loans, the only one that can't be forgiven is student loan debt. We live in a world where someone like, say, Donald Trump, filed for bankruptcy on 6 different occasions, but a student can't get his loan forgiven. I mean, that's bad news for our infrastructure on a whole, I think, because I mean, cats don't want to go to school because they don't want to take the school loan. I feel them with this all these predatory loans. Um, you take it away. Public education is being dismantled. You privatize these trade schools. You used to be able to get a trade out of high school. Now you got to pay for it. I think the whole country is suffering. I mean, the more educated, the more skilled, the more trained people is the better. Is for the better, and we are falling behind to other countries. And on top of that, it's not that long ago when they went after people for the PPP loans. And when I say people, I mean JoJo and Ray Ray. But at the same time, people like Jay Z and Jared Kushner, $2 million PPP loans forgiven. Tom Brady's PPP loan forgiven. Khloe Kardashian's 1.2 million PPP loan forgiven. Reese Witherspoon forgiven PPP loan. Even Matt Gates and Marjorie Taylor Greene, PPP loans forgiven. People who could afford to pay it back, forgiven. This is a two-tier system for the rich. And, regular folks get treated differently. And we are still paying because all of these court cases, because there's another one with this lady, a web designer who sued, saying so because she don't want to design for gay. It was a wedding planning design, site, and she don't want to plan. She don't want to design for gay folks, so she sued and went to the Supreme Court, and they sided with her. But the crazy thing about that is that there wasn't even a gay couple, to my understanding, that even approached her. So she sued without any standing. So that's odd, and that sets a different type of precedent. But it was 6-3. It's 6-3 in the student loan. It was 6-3 in the affirmative action case. You know, they had 6 votes for the to reverse Roe versus Wade, and the difference is the Trump administration because he appointed Neil Gorsuch, Amy Coney Barrett, and Brett Kavanaugh. So his administration is setting us back still to this day. It's, I mean, I don't know. Something's got to change, y'all. Later. Peace.